Jeffries, and Matt Pangrak. BTL is brought to you by Lowrance, Lose, Strike King Lures, Bass Cat Boats, Ducket Fishing, Spro, AFCO, Big Bite Baits, Sunline, and TH Marine. BTL coming at you. Good Wednesday, everybody. Welcome once again to BTL Bass Talk Live, where we're going to talk bass fishing and anything else that we want to talk about. Matthew, very excited about today's show.
You've been working on this one for a little bit, Mark, and we get guests on, and you're excited. Oh, we got so and so on, but you are genuinely looking forward to a man that has not been in the bass fishing limelight for the past decade.
14 years.
Yeah. Well, he fished past that season. I just meant as far as
being in the limelight.
Yeah.
Well, it was my first season to cover the Elite Series.
2006. The first season of the Elite Series.
Yeah. First season to be out there kind of as the beat writer. We went to Amistad, and who won that event? Ish Monroe.
Yep.
Won the very first event.
Was that the big white Toro too?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I remember that.
And then we went to Sam Rayburn. Who won that event? Do you remember?
Was that Hackney?
Greg Hackney won that one. Just under 80 pounds.
Right.
Because, they were at 100. Ish had 100.
That was when Amistad was on fire.
Yeah.
That was a heck of a season. 2000. So you started out with Amistad, which at the time rivaled Falcon Lake.
Yes.
Then went to Rayburn.
And then went to Santee Cooper.
And then went to Santee Cooper.
Yeah.
All in the spring. Amistad was a spawn. Was Rayburn on the spawn?
No, it was flooded. It was a mess.
And then Santee
That's why
Cooper.
it took 70-something pounds.
But Santee Cooper was an absolute sight fishing slugfest.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And that's where the guest today set the record.
And when we talk about the top 6 guys, top 8 guys in that event, it is unreal the amount of weight that was caught during that tournament. I know everybody remembers Falcon Lake and the mystique and everything that took place at Falcon with Paul Elias and Terry Scroggins and all this. But remember, folks, this was the very first year of the Bassmaster Elite Series, and they had never seen this much weight from this many people.
What will lead up to who our guest is. You had 6 anglers in this 2006 Elite Series event on Santee Cooper.
Yeah.
It was March 30th through April 2nd, 2006. 6th, Rojas, 102 pounds, 10 ounces. 5th, Kelly Jordan, 103 pounds, 3 ounces. 4th, Steve Kennedy, 104 pounds, 2 ounces. 3rd, Skeet Reese, 108 pounds even. 2nd, Aaron Martins, who I see he was out fishing again. Glad to see that. 2nd, Aaron Martins, 108 pounds, 4 ounces. And 1st, with 115 pounds, 15 ounces, today's guest on BTL,
Preston Clark, the Beef O'Brady's guy. It's in the other office.
He was also in that Visor group, I believe, if my memory serves me right, along with Byron Velvick and Rick Morris,
Bernie
Schultz, and Preston Clark were some of the Skeet tried to dabble in that a little bit, with the visor with the yellow hair sticking out. So did Swindle. Remember he had the cutoff Sicko hat that he would use. But I'd say those 4 guys for a couple duration held down the Visor crew on the Bassmaster Elite Series. So Preston Clark.
Yeah, so I tracked down Preston, and I asked him, I said, hey, man, has anybody approached you about this? We're coming up on 14 years. And he's like, no. And he's got a very successful business in Florida. Fishes a little bit, but primarily really focused on his family and his business. And I thought it'd be very cool to reminisce. There's kind of a behind the story on how he had a lot of his success at Santee Cooper. And I don't know if you know what that is or not.
Behind the story?
Yeah.
You mean like behind the music, VH1 style stuff?
There's more to the story than him just being a great sight fishing angler.
I got you.
He'd never been to Santee Cooper before.
Really?
A lot of people don't realize that.
No. From Florida, it's not that far of a drive.
Yeah. But 115.15.
That's impressive.
Was the number.
I have some news that I came across yesterday that I meant to mention that kind of piqued my interest in my inbox and my email that I did not mention.
What would that be?
It said Sands takes title in first ever ACA run online tournament. So the ACA, Association of Collegiate Anglers, that's Wade Middleton's deal, right?
Yeah, I think so.
They had an online tournament, obviously, with their season put on hold. You had a lot of seniors and stuff. So they ran a 6-day online length tournament, your longest fish, because they had, Big Bass Bash and all this stuff that gets, and it was won by Cole Sands on, of all places, Chickamauga. Now these are great nationwide, but I mean, if you're in an area where a 3-pounder is big, you just got no chance in these because it's nationwide. Any public lake, there are over 100 fish submitted with dozens of fish measuring over 20 inches long, and his winning fish was 24.6 inches. He caught it on a swim bait, so he got prizes and stuff like that. So that's like an official ACA online collegiate tournament that they had where they had different stuff and they submitted their fish, and he caught, it looks like a monster. Look at the size of that.
That is massive.
But he said that he went out the day before and his best 5 went over 30 pounds. But his longest was only 22 inches. So he was in the top 5, but he's like, I got to rethink this because I'm drilling him, but I'm not really drilling him. So he ties on a giant swim bait, goes out the next day, wins the whole online tournament.
So what did he win?
Fame, prestige,
a banner,
honor,
a trophy, a ribbon. Does it say? Did he win cash?
I don't know. Heck, they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They've got over 40 sponsors of the event, so I'm sure they might have coughed up something in the. No, there really are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
pack
7.
Of plastic worms.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's over 50. There's over 50.
But it doesn't say what he won?
I'm looking through it.
All right, maybe we'll get back to it. All right, a couple other things real quick. I did receive a message this morning via the Bass Zone website that I want to read real quick. It's just a couple of sentences. It's from a gentleman, let's see here, Leighton Davis is the name, and it says, hey, Mark and Matt, thanks for having Preston Clark on today. That was the first tournament I ever watched. I had broken my arm at the age of 10 and came across the event on ESPN at midnight. That tournament started a lifelong pursuit to make the elites.
Oh, that's cool.
How cool is that?
Very cool.
Shout out to Mr. Davis on that.
I got break. He won a $250 Bass Pro Shops gift card. It beats a sharp stick in the eye, doesn't it?
That's it.
It was a 10-pounder.
That's it.
There's a lot of people who catch a 10-pounder who don't get.
That's
a $250 Bass Pro gift card.
That's all he won.
You can get a couple things at Bass Pro for $250 these days.
And how many sponsors did they have?
You ever tried to go into Bass Pro and keep it at $100?
It's next to impossible.
It's impossible.
No.
It's like a couple lures, some terminal tackle, and you're done.
Man, there has to be something else. He had to win some cash.
I'm reading it right here. By taking first place in the online tournament, Cole will receive a $250 Bass Pro Shops gift card.
It's better than a ribbon and a medal, I guess.
Yeah.
That's it? $250?
Like I said, I'm sure they I wish it said what lakes they came from because there were a bunch of 22, 21-inch fish. I don't see many northern schools in this.
Wow.
Oh, here's a University of Buffalo, a 20-inch fish from the University of Buffalo.
Nice.
Oh, but none of these kids are at their schools anymore.
No.
Because they're home.
Yeah.
So it could have been a dude who lives from south and then decided to go up to Buffalo.
He could live in Florida.
Exactly.
All right, interesting. All right, real quick, I want to clarify a couple things real quick. I did receive word from our good media correspondent friend that handles the media for Major League Fishing, Tricia Milford, did send me some information about the schedule yesterday, and there was a statement that basically said They have many cities, many dates. Obviously, the dates are scheduled, but the locations are not. And part of the reason why they went past August is because the way that the television programming is structured for 2021. We kind of mentioned that, but I did receive official word yesterday that from a TV planning perspective, there's a lot that goes into it.
Right.
And with the way that everything is today, that's why they're not announcing yet, because they don't have it all completely dialed in. Because of the whole situation that the entire world is dealing with right now.
Okay.
The other thing is, basically, because of television contracts, they're actually going to be able to, as I mentioned earlier, go past the month of August in 2021 and be able to create that television content at a later time due to the arrangements that they have made with the network. So I think it's cool. I think it's cool that they're fishing later in the season. I'm really curious to see what happens. Obviously, the discussion we had yesterday with Shaw about me being greedy and wanting to see a major event take place in the fall, such as the Classic or the Red Crest or whatever the case might be. But I think them fishing later in the year is going to add a lot of value, and I'm really curious to see how it plays out on that.
I agree.
So I greatly appreciate Tricia, as always, does a great job for us in the communication back and forth between the media and Major League Fishing. So
you want to continue with some housekeeping stuff?
Yeah.
So was it Monday that you were talking about the boat that was in the hip pocket of Hank Cherry on day 2 of the Bassmaster Classic during the TV show? And you wondered, how is a spectator boat that close? And I hypothesized that it was maybe a camera boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Ronnie Moore cleared that up for us.
What was it?
Bassmaster.
What was
it? He said Hank was nothing but complimentary of the spectators. He said the camera boat that you mentioned with swapping cams was because we didn't have a camera with him from the start. So Robbie Floyd was in the auxiliary boat. Robbie was with Hank all 3 days, but his cameraman. Oh, wait, no, that was the wrong one. Sorry. It was a camera boat. That's what the gist of it. The gist of it was a camera boat.
It wasn't a fan.
It was not a fan. It was there doing official business. Hank knew it was there. He was not bothered by the fact that it was there, since he was paralleling some riprap
and lost the fish.
Yeah. But it was.
I really appreciate him clearing it up.
He said it was the still photographer boat, and it had been that distance all day. That was the one I was looking for, not the other one.
Yeah. So. All right. Well, greatly appreciate clearing that up.
And then here's the reason why they showed the 2013 Classic was because when Hank lost that fish, he said deja vu on camera.
Yeah.
So then in order to
So it was obviously
so the fans knew what the deja vu was. That's why they replayed it. Not just
it's a cool
not
clip.
just to torment the guy over and over again.
He ended up winning, man. He's not tormented anymore.
So thank you, Ronnie Moore, for clearing that. He even sent a screenshot of the boats close together.
I told you,
he
man.
Could have stepped over into the boat.
I told you
absolutely.
That. But for the casual fan, they probably don't know that, and they're probably like, "What the heck is that guy doing so close?" So, it was quite. I was shocked when I saw it.
Has there ever been an instance, and I don't know if you want to put the Tim Tucker, Jim Bitter situation in this, of a camera boat interference that cost an angler something? Tangled up in the trolling motor, runs over a spot that had a bedfish on it that he was planning on fishing, got in the way somehow, set the hook, got it stuck in the camera, that affected the outcome of a tournament. Obviously, the Tim Tucker Holt measuring it for Jim Bitter again. We don't need to rehash that, where it slips out and he loses the Classic. But other than that, I was on the water with Harold Allen all that time, so he was really good at staying away. We got yelled at by 2 guys in the 8 years that we did it. One was Kevin Short. It might have been on Amistad. And he, get out, I'm fishing that. And then he cast towards us and caught like a 7. Remember that photo series of that?
Yeah.
And then the other was Alton Jones. And I don't think we even got off pad, and he was telling us to get out of there. and Harold said, okay, we're out. And that was the only two times that we were really cautious of that. But can you remember any other time ESPN Bassmaster, still photographer,
No.
anything affected?
Not really.
I can't either.
I got yelled at, one time that I remember, and it was Van Dam. And he
You got yelled at by Van Dam?
Oh, yeah, it was at Oneida. And he was...
How have I never heard
second
this
year.
story?
Yeah, he came up to me afterwards and apologized.
Set that one up?
Well, you know how Oneida is? They have all those shoals and stuff. And
Little pin buoys, and you don't know where they're going.
Me and my boat driver at the time, it was somebody, because what I was doing then is I was having to utilize the network through the pro staff guys, the local pro staff dealer
Skeeter
guys
guys.
for Skeeter.
Yep.
And they would be my boat driver. And we just pulled in. We saw Van Dam. And you know that one photo that I have of him bobbing up and down? I actually have it in the garage
Yep,
now.
100%.
Yeah. It was during that photo shoot. And I came around on the top side, and he was actually fishing up the shoal.
So you were ahead of where he was
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
was fishing towards you.
But you had no idea because it was on the back side.
Right.
So we think that we're completely out of the way. And, dude, he was throwing that jerk bait 1,000,000 miles an hour. And
Did he light you up, or did he wave you off?
No.
Was he like, what the hell are you
He
doing?
didn't cuss or anything like that. He's like, you want pictures? I'll never forget. He goes, you want pictures? Take your pictures. That's what he said to me.
Wow.
And some other stuff. But he was in a bad mood.
Did
all
your
right?
throat go to your heart? Like, did you have that sinking feeling? Like, oh, God.
It was a bleep moment. Yeah, I was like,
So did he
oh
come up
my
to you, or
God.
did you come up to him?
No, he
then?
came up to me.
Because he didn't probably know you very well at that
He
time.
knew of me because he was like, who the hell is this guy that's going to every single tournament? We've, never seen this guy before, and he's everywhere. So, yeah, he knew who I was, and he actually came up to me, showed a lot of class, and apologized, and he explained to me the situation on what he was fishing and, why he was upset and all that and everything, and it was all cool. It was good. And then I told you about the Chris Lane story at Champlain.
The Chris Lane at Champlain?
Yeah.
No.
Where Chris Lane got put into the penalty box because of, at the time, Bill Lowen was the one that was the boat driver. I need to get Bill on to tell that story.
I vaguely remember
Yeah.
you, and he broke a rule or something.
No, he went into an area that he wasn't supposed to be in.
Well, he broke a rule. And he didn't know that he wasn't supposed to.
and
But
there was
Bill
a
knew.
big and
you
knew.
were with Bill.
Yeah, and it was a bad deal because, what do you do?
Because Bill legally, because he's an angler, has to report
But he happened to
infraction.
be a boat driver for the media at the same time. That was when they were paying people
Right.
if you didn't make the cut.
But you also remember we signed that, we would sign that thing way back in the day. We're talking 07, 08, that range.
Yeah.
This was 06.
Yeah.
But where if you were in the media and you saw a rules infraction, you were obligated to report it to the tournament director.
Yeah.
Remember? Because one time, remember that guy got a photo of an angler idling, and he has the photo, and he's going through his photos, and he realizes this angler is idling, and his life jacket is only half on,
Yeah.
not strapped. And that angler got a penalty too.
Yeah. The penalty box.
Was Chris upset at you? Because
No, but it was one of those deals where he was like, what the heck? And Tripp talked to me, and Tripp talked to Bill, and they had photos of the sign in the area. And it was just, it was a bad
speaking
deal.
of DQs, probably the most infamous DQ tournament
People may have forgotten or
in
not
history
even known. Yeah, there were 3 DQs.
is the Santee Cooper event in
Yeah.
2006.
Yeah.
You can name them all 3.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Because I was there. I was dealing
Alton,
with the whole thing.
If you look at the standings, like you said, we read the top, 115, 108, 108, 104, but Alton Jones, Randy Howell, and Kevin Van Dam were all DQ'd in that tournament for like a small kind of rule change that had taken place the
Yeah.
previous year. I was actually reading about it, and it's from a 2007. Basically, the rule that had changed was that they had co-anglers back then, could
Yeah.
not operate the motor, trolling motor or big motor, unless it's a case of emergency.
Right.
But it hadn't been like that in previous years.
Right.
And it was a bed fishing tournament, and these guys had their co-angler idle while they were on the front deck looking for beds.
Yeah.
So I think didn't Van Dam get DQ'd before the tournament?
Yes.
And then did Jones and Howell get DQ'd after the tournament? I know Howell got DQ'd.
Howell got DQ'd afterwards. He like contacted Bass and said, "Hey, you know."
So one got DQ'd after what? So here's how I'm reading it right now.
Yeah.
Van Dam got DQ'd before. He was like, "Yep, I did it. Didn't even know it was a rules violation."
Yeah.
And Tripp deemed that because he could have had an advantage throughout the entire tournament based on what he found, he was done. Jones got DQ'd during the tournament because it said Jones was in second place prior to his disqualification with 35-6 following the weigh-in Friday. And then Howell
the following week
got DQ'd after the tournament.
Yeah.
That was a debacle.
Oh, it
Could you imagine that during the age of social media? This was before all of that stuff.
This is way before sublimation, too. I forgot to mention that. You had all the cloth jerseys with the embroidery. It was quite cool. Once again, the first season.
It sounded like a cluster. Van Dam was disqualified, and according to one Bassmaster official, there was some question that some other anglers, quote, may have done the same type of thing.
Yeah.
But those are the three that got dinged for it.
Yeah, Andy in Indiana says that DQ may have cost Kevin Angler of the Year.
Yeah, because remember, I believe he won in 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Did he win like 3 or 4 in a row there? He would have won the previous year, too.
Yeah.
That was like right in the meat, the prime of it.
Oh, man, this is good stuff, folks. All right, we're going to take a break, and hopefully, we're doing the Skype thing with him. We tested it last night. It was good to go. So let's take a break. Come back right here on a Wednesday with Preston Clark. Everybody stay tuned.
The search for the best combination of value and performance is over. It ends with Elite TI2. From high-res views of active imaging to mapping in real time with Genesis Live, the high-powered performance of Elite TI2 continues to dominate. And now, wirelessly share sonar waypoints and routes between TI2 displays. Get up to $200 cash back when you purchase a Lowrance Elite TI2 or Hook Reveal display. Visit Lowrance.com/offers for details.
Yeah, you care about gear ratios, inches per turn, and ball bearings, but most importantly, you want reliability and dependability in the equipment you use. Luz doesn't cut corners when it comes to the gear they build. The new Speed Spool LFS is the best $99 reel in the market. Go see for yourself.
We've paired one of the most iconic hulls in the history of bass boats with a proven lineup of trusted accessories. We're bringing you best-in-class value and performance, leaving others in your wake. Turnkey value, turnkey performance. The Pantera 2 is an overachiever in the 19-foot category. Once you hit the throttle, you'll feel the rush, and there's no looking back.
Kevin, what are you doing here?
Oh, I'm just filling in for Billy.
I need a 660 shad crankbaits in the Series 5 model.
We're out.
You're not out. You got all kinds of them right there.
We're out.
Kevin, I need 6.
Have a lollipop.
I do not want a lollipop.
Have a lollipop.
Do you have it in sexy shad color?
At Duckett Fishing, we have assembled the top pros in the country to help us design rods to give you a competitive advantage.
Castability, strength, durability, action, sensitivity, weight and balance, and consistency.
Combine that with the best warranty in the industry, and you have rods that are pro-driven.
Duckett Fishing, pro-driven.
I want to share to you a new product we got coming out from Sunline. This is the FC leader size spools that we have now. We've gotten a lot of requests for this. A lot of you guys use fluorocarbon for leaders only, myself included. And one of the problems you have is when you have a 200-yard spool, that might last you 2, 3, 4 years. You might even lose it before you even get done with the spool. So we've gone to a little smaller spool. These are 50-yard spool sizes. You know, that way you're not holding your line on forever. You can keep your line fresh, use it when you can, stores real easily in the boat. We got all of our popular line sizes that you're used to with our sniper from 5 to 14 pound. If you guys are looking for a line that you're only tying for a leader, go check out Sunline FC Leader 100% fluorocarbon and give it a try.
All right, we are back on a Wednesday. Mark and Matt in studio. And we are just about ready to go to our special guest. By the way, before the end of the show, we're going to take a second break, and we're going to have another special guest. Right, Matthew?
Yes.
Can't wait for that one either.
We'll leave that one.
Kind of tease it there a little bit. Yeah.
For the second half of the show.
All right. I am very, very excited to bring in our special guest today, the guy that we've been talking about all morning long.
Do you have the same phone number? Because, I mean, your roster would have been 12, 13 years old since the last one. So did you just go back to like the 2007, 2008 roster?
No, because I had talked to him like over a year ago, maybe a year or 2 years ago, because we were actually considering doing a 20 feet deep on this tournament.
Because it was the record at the time.
Yeah, it was only the third
4-day tournament.
Yeah, it was only the third event in the history of the Elite Series, and so much of this stuff went down that we were kind of evaluating on whether or not this would be a good 20 feet deep. And we actually were almost close to the point where it was going to work out with his schedule to where he could actually go back to Santee Cooper, and we were going to film a bunch of stuff and all that, but it just didn't work out. So, here a year, 2 years later, I thought, how cool would it be? This is the week that the Elite Series was supposed to be at Santee Cooper, and I thought it'd be cool to get him on. So let's bring him in now. Preston, you there, man?
I'm here. How are you, Mark?
I'm doing great, man. So great to talk to you and see you, and I greatly appreciate you taking time out. I know you're really, really busy, but, man, this was an iconic moment in bass fishing, what you did 14 years ago.
It was a special time. Here we were just starting out the Elite Series, and we had a field of anglers that were as strong as anything we'd had up to that time, from top to bottom. And they were putting us in the right places at the right time. And it seemed like we were catching them everywhere we went. I mean, we started with Ish that year, catching over 100 in Amistad, and then Hackney catches them at Sam Rayburn, and it was, everything was exciting. The sponsorships, there was a buzz about it. And the time that I had while I was out there, I wish that everybody that was a tournament fisherman could experience it. It was quite exciting.
All right, I want to go back to your preparation going into this tournament, because in the research that I was doing, there's somewhat of a unique behind-the-story about how you attacked and what your game plan was based upon a Bassmaster magazine.
Yeah, I'd never been to Santee before. I'd never seen the lake until the first day of practice. And I got out there, and I struggled really bad the first couple of days of practice. And I went back to an old Bassmaster. I saved them all. My dad got them when I was a kid, and I saved all of them. And I went back to a Bassmaster magazine, and I noticed that it was the same time of year, same water temperature. The moon phase was happening when Kelly Jordan won there years earlier. And I started reading it, and it put me in the right place to find where the fish were. And when it happened really in the matter of just a couple of hours. I went from absolutely a horrible practice to I can win this thing.
Did you talk to Kelly about that over the years at all?
Yeah, from time to time when we see each other at trade shows and things, I talked to him about it. But it was, he got on him at the right time, but the wave that I got on was a little bit bigger.
All right, let's talk a little bit about obviously sight fishing, but it was quite prevalent, the bait that you were using. You talked a lot about that. And for those people that haven't watched the show or weren't around then, we have a lot of young listeners. What was the setup and what were you using?
I was using a Texas rig, just a little crawl, a little 3-inch crawl in pumpkin seed color, and on Texas rig with a 3/16 ounce sinker on it.
I want to go back to the day 2 when you said you found 50 pounds on the bet? Like, if you'd had another hour, do you think you could have caught those fish, or did you think that you would have 50 on day 3 when you came back?
I thought when I got there on day 3 that I would have, and it wasn't just 5 fish. There was a group of 10 or 15 fish that were all in the 9 to 11 pound range. And I've been seeing fish like that all week long, and people didn't realize that the fish that I caught day 1, day 2, day 3 weren't the biggest fish I saw.
Wow.
They were just the ones I could get to bite. I had big fish, 10, 11 pound fish that I would spend an hour on and couldn't get them to bite. And there ended up being 8 pounder 10 foot away and pitch over and catch that one first cast.
Wow. And then the other thing was that obviously I remember, because I wasn't on location covering it at that time, I remember you push poling, and that was out of necessity, not out of stealth.
Yes, on day 3, that was out of necessity because I did not have a trolling motor at all. But the push pole was something that we've been doing around locally in North Florida for years and years and years. Nothing new to us. There's a lot of guys that fish that way because of the massive grass beds. When those fish are up on spawn like that and you're going through a big flat of grass, they can hear that trolling motor coming through that grass. So they'll ease off and you never see them. But if you're on that push pole, you can sneak up on and at least see them. So you have an opportunity to catch them.
Preston, how did this change your career?
Oh man, it opened up so many doors for me. I was struggling getting sponsors at the time. I'd had a good first year. Was runner up on Rookie of the Year to Dave Wolak, and there were a few doors opening. And then the Classic came, and I had a big showing at the Classic, and I was promoting myself, and people were always, next year we'll have room. Next year we'll have room on our pro staff. And then all of a sudden Santee happened, and for the next several weeks, my phone never quit ringing. That all of a sudden they had an instant opening on their pro staff, and they wanted me to promote their products. But it was a good time.
Do you still hold the largest bass caught in the Bassmaster Classic with that 11-pound 10-ouncer?
I do. I still have that one, and that was a special time as well.
So you at one point had the large. This would have had to have been in like a couple month span on different fisheries in different states. The largest bass ever caught in the Classic, and the largest 20 bass stringer ever weighed in a tournament.
Yes, it was. I was on top of the world for a short time. It was a lot of fun.
That's impressive.
Yeah,
I'm probably also the only one ever to win a tournament and come in dead last in the same year.
Might be. That might be.
Yeah. I'll have to go back and look. Well, no, because Kevin won one in 06, didn't he? If Kevin won one in 06?
Non-DQ.
Oh, non-DQ.
Non-DQ.
Okay. Yeah.
Might be. Let's see here. Russ wants to know on the instant feedback, how did you know that you broke the record? Because he says, I remember you saying I did it. Was that the case, Preston?
Yes, I knew that I had it. I've been adding up in my head what I needed to break the record. I knew that the final day, I only needed about, I'm thinking I needed about 15 pounds to break the record, if I remember right. And I knew what I had in my live well, and that final fish, when I put that one in the boat, that was a nice one. And I knew I was way above the record. I knew if I broke the record, I would win the tournament. My main goal was to break the record. And if I broke the record, I knew I'd win the tournament. So, and it all happened.
All right, man. 14 years ago, what is life like today?
There's still a lot of fishing. I fish a lot with my boys. I fish with my dad. And I fish against some great anglers down here in Florida. There's local tournaments that I go to. We've got some guys, when we have a local tournament in Palaca, we have some of the best fishermen, some of the biggest names. You got Cliff Prince, you got Terry Scroggins and Peter T. and the late Glenn Brown. They would show up, but there's a group of 20 or 30 guys that when we show up, they don't bat an eye. They're wanting your money, and they're good. So you have to be on your A game to do well in a tournament around here. And and I'm home with my family. That was always my goal. Fishing just kind of happened for me. I'd always been good at it, and I always loved to do it, but it was never a goal of mine to set out to be a professional angler. It just kind of happened. Well, let's see what happens next. And then it happened, and then everything happened to me with the records and doing well, and then it all went away. When things crashed in 08 or 09 and the economy got hard, it was hard to get sponsorship, and it was probably the best thing that ever happened to me. Was it made my mind up that, hey, now what's next? Let's move on to something else. So I started a business down in Florida, and I'm still dealing with water. We're in water distribution. We are meter services for a couple of communities where we take care of upgrading their meters from the old meters to the new meters, and we also do some consulting work with showing people how to conserve water.
What I find interesting is in your entire career leading up to this 115 pounds. Now I know a lot of these were 3-day tournaments, but you only had I think 6 tournaments where you had cracked the 35 pound or above mark for all these things. And now you have the big bass and the big string. Did you catch a lot of giant fish? I mean, you have big fish-ish. Kelly Jordan's always known for catching the big ones. Was that kind of your MO, or was it just holy cow, I just started catching monsters for a couple years?
I have caught big fish my whole life. Since I was a little kid, I've been, I don't know how many, I couldn't count how many 8-pounders I've caught.
Wow.
But I grew up in an area in Florida where you can have the opportunity to catch something like that every time you put your boat in the water. And I've always caught big fish. And of all the styles of fishing, everybody knows me as a sight fisherman, but I never really, in a big tournament, I wasn't able to ever get on them. What I think I'm best at, and I think I'm better at throwing a crankbait.
Really?
Huh.
Yep.
Huh. Do you think there's just a penchant of certain guys who, based on where they grew up, geographical location, their style, they're just more likely to catch bigger bass than other guys?
Yeah, there's an art to knowing where the big one lives, and if you catch a big fish in an area, there was everything around that area was right to hold a big fish. The depth of the water, the bottom, the bait, everything. And a lot of times you can come back there and catch another big fish because another one will take its place.
All right. Big Paulie in New York on Long Island wants to know, what did you think when the hottest angler on the planet got DQ'd before the tournament even began?
That could have been any of us. We got this whole new set of rules with Elite Series, and they gave it to us on this disc. And I'm sure that half of us just said, I've been doing this my whole life, and threw it in the back of the seat of the truck and didn't listen to it. It was an honest mistake. And not only Van Dam, but also Alton Jones got DQ'd for the same thing. And it could have been any of us I just feel like it was an honest mistake. That those two are two of the most honest fishermen that there are out there. And I'll tell you another little side note. After the tournament was over with, I had Mark Zona came to me and asked me, he said, did your co-angler assist you in any way during the tournament? I said, no. And he said, because we got video of him pulling up the anchor on day 2 for you to move. And the tournament director's in the production van looking at the video, and I'm freaking out, So I'm running to the production van, and then he reminds me that it's April Fool's Day.
Oh, man. He did that to you during the tournament?
Right after the weigh-in, when everybody's getting autographs and taking pictures and everything.
Oh, and my
I got him back, though. A few months later, I showed him how to eat a blue crab on the Potomac. So we're even now.
That is wrong, man.
I can't believe that. That goes down in the bass fishing history books.
That's a great story, though.
Yeah. We had this. So you did not have power poles on your boat, right?
We didn't have power
Yeah,
poles.
so we just had this talk about, we just had it actually with Shaw Grigsby yesterday talking about sight fishing because we've been on, shows, kicks, and we talked all sight fishing. So how did you anchor yourself in place without the poles?
I had 2 little bell anchors, one on the front and one on the back, and I would position myself, pull myself up with with my push pole, and just slip them over the side of the boat real quiet, and then let everything relax. And sometimes I'd wait for 3 or 4 minutes before I'd make a cast. Let the fish calm back down because they can feel that big boat moving towards them, and you don't want to spook them. So I would let it calm down for another minute, and then I'd start making my cast towards the bed.
When was the last time you watched a replay of that ESPN show?
Oh, it's been years. My kids watch it. My boys watch it. I need to say hello to my daughter, Samantha, who she says I never mention her whenever I'm being in. And my triplets, Zoe, Ben, and Barrett, and my wife, Katrina. I'm sure they're all at home watching.
All right, so the kids, the triplets, they're doing well.
Everybody's doing good. Triplets are 13 now.
Wow.
Samantha's about to turn 16, and she's about to start driving, so everybody's doing good.
I had no idea about this. I didn't even think about this. But Frank in Michigan said, he said, what was it like making the movie?
It gave me a new respect for the people that make movies. They work hard. It was long days, and it was a lot of fun. There's a lot of hurry up and wait. But they start very early in the morning, and they work till late in the evening. It was quite the experience. I'm glad that I got to do it. But I don't care if I ever get to do it again.
Right, fill everyone in for this. I think it was the...
What was it called? Bait Shop?
Billy Ray... Was it Billy Ray Cyrus?
Yeah.
And Mark Zona?
And Bill Engvall and Mark Zona was in it.
Yeah.
And there was a few of us in it.
What did that get? Didn't that get nominated for some awards? No?
Yeah,
Am I
the
thinking?
Sleeper or something. It's the worst movie of all time.
It's pretty bad.
It's genuine.
Zona doesn't even like to talk about it, man.
Yeah, it was horrible.
So how many days did that take you then to do all that stuff?
I think we did it in 4 or 5 days, 3 days, something. I got to meet some real cool people. I became friends with Bill Engvall. We still call each other once or twice a year, and I got to spend time with Larry the Cable Guy. He wasn't in the movie, but he was on set, and it was a great time. We got to spend time with our families. My family got to spend time with their family, and it was nice.
Did you get to go to like the premieres and like and all that stuff too? Like, was there cool? No.
No, I tell you, the one thing that I really regret in my fishing career was I was nominated for an ESPY, and I wish I would have gone to LA to be in that, just to be around all those people. But I wasn't able to.
Was it like the greatest outdoor performance or something for that year? No, I'm serious.
Me and Hackney and Ish Monroe, and there was a lady on the women's tour, and she wound up winning it. But it was pretty exciting.
Why didn't you go to the ESPYs?
I think there was some kind of scheduling conflict where I couldn't. But I look back on it now, going, I would have missed that tournament, or I would have missed that trade show to go there.
I think it's on Netflix. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Bait Shop?
Yeah, Bait Shop. It might be. It was on the other day. Every now and then.
I think you can get it on Netflix. Yeah,
on 2 a.m, it'll be.
You'll see it.
I've
seen it
on
multiple times. Tommy Sanders is in there.
Oh, yeah.
It's about, what's the guy's name? Hot Rod?
Yeah.
I think.
Hot Rod Johnson.
Hot Rod Johnson, and he comes and tries to take over I don't want to spoil it. It's riveting viewing.
Did they shoot that at Toho? Where'd they shoot that at?
At Toho Marina, right when it was the old restaurant. They've tore it down now, but that was the bait shop that was owned by Toho Mark, and it was shot in there and Toho Marina, and it was really cool. That it was a small set. Everything happened in one little area. We did do some shooting out on the water, and we did some boat races and things of that nature, and that was neat. But most of our time was just sitting around, being on call, waiting for them to call your name to get up and do something for 10 seconds, and then wait for another hour.
Did they have makeup on you? Did they put makeup? No makeup. I'm
pretty.
Wow. That's pretty cool though.
I totally forgot about that. That was
yeah.
That was a great memory there. Someone on
Frank in Michigan.
Frank in Michigan. Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up. That made the show for me.
Hey, I'm
there.
curious. What were your co-anglers like during all 4 days? I mean, were they just in awe, especially on day one when you had like 39 pounds?
Yeah, it was. They were all great. I've in all my years of fishing, I've probably only had one co-angler that I regretted fishing with. But that Elite Series tournament in Santee, they were all wonderful. They knew what was happening. They knew. Yeah, they wanted to be spectators and watch it. It was history being made, and everybody kind of had a sense of it after day one. And my co-angler on day one knew it during day one. The area I was in, there was another angler in there, and it was Peter T. And when the first morning we got in there, we looked at each other, and he said, you were here first, and you pick the side you want, and I'll pick the other side. And I said, okay. So I picked one side, he picked the other. And we fished in there with each other for 2 days and never crossed lines. I mean, it was perfect. And then on day three, when he knew what was happening on day three, he said, I'm out of here. You got a chance to really do something special. And he pulled out of the area.
Wow. Hey, do you remember and know where your last official BASS tournament was? Do you have any idea?
I don't remember.
It was at Santee Cooper.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, was it open?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think he finished in the 50s or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody them all the time.
I mean, do you reflect on that? I mean, every now and then, do you just catch yourself going, wow, that was such a special 4-day span, Preston?
I tell you what I do. I sit back and go, wow, was that really me that did that? You know, it's like an out-of-body experience. You know, was that really me that caught all those fish? But, you know, you look back and it's nice. And you have people come up and want to spend time with you and talk to you about it. And I try and take time for everybody. You
ever think about getting back in it, signing up for the Opens again whenever those things start back up?
My goal right now is, all my attention is towards my boys and my dad. I love fishing with them, and we'll fish local tournaments. We fish some bigger tournaments, but no, as far as going back into it, I'm really not interested. I really enjoy spending time with my family out on the water.
Very cool.
There you go.
All right, I'm curious. Last question: did Rojas ever say anything to you after you broke the record?
I'll tell you another story. All right, so we're on between day 3 and day 4. There's nowhere to eat in Santee, nowhere. So I'm at the Subway, like at a truck stop Subway type thing, and Rojas is standing in front of me. We're ordering sandwiches, and I'm sitting there, and in about 5 minutes, we don't say to each other, and he just turns around and he looks at me and he says, "Are you going to break my record?" And I said, "Dean," I said, "I'm on a bunch of really big fish. I'm going to have to really mess up not to." And he turned back around, and about 2 minutes later, he turned around, he shook my hand, he said, "I hope you do." He said, I've done about as much as I can do with this record. I know what it means to your career. I wish you the best of luck.
That's awesome.
There you go.
That's
that
really,
cool.
really cool, man. So many cool stories from those 4 days 14 years ago. And, man, I can't thank you enough for taking time out. I know you're very busy, but this has been really cool.
I do want to say one thing. The man that came in second in that tournament is going through a hard time right now, Aaron Martins, and we need to lift him up in our prayers.
Absolutely. Yep. It was cool to see him actually on the water doing a little fishing this past week. So,
I texted him yesterday, and we talked for a minute, and just everybody keep him in your thoughts and prayers.
All right, man. Anything else, Matthew?
No, that was some good gems in there.
Yeah, that was really, really neat, man, and really cool to reflect, and you gave me and Matt and the fans just some great insight, great stories, and wish you nothing but the best, Preston.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Take care.
All right.
All right. There you have it, Preston Clark. a very, very, very cool interview there.
Yeah.
That was neat stuff.
I mean, you obviously have seen it. Watched the show. It was a year before I went out and started covering it, so I didn't really know any of this stuff behind the scenes, kind of like you did and he did, but just some neat little storylines in there of kind of who he ran into. The thing that stuck out to me was, could you believe Mark Zona did that to him on April Fool's Day?
That was bad. We may have to get Zona on the show just to discuss that little act.
I was
unbelievable.
Just messing with the guy. He hadn't sniffed a win before that. He's got the record. He's got $100,000.
And
he's
you know
coming
how
off of all
serious
this.
Zona could be.
Van Dam had already been DQ'd from that tournament. They were dealing with the other stuff that was going on, all the new rule changes.
Unbelievable.
I mean, I could imagine being in his shoes because I know, like in the Nichols, right?
Yeah.
You get polygraphed if you're in the top 2 or 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
So I remember when we went out in the Nichols and we caught like 24 pounds at the first. I was like, okay, I need to hear the 3 clicks of the life vest. I'm checking the kills, beforehand because I knew I was going to get polygraphed on it. And I knew everything that was racing through my head. And I couldn't imagine being in his position and then having Zona come up. Hey, man, we got footage.
Oh, jeez. It's genius, but at the same time, so wrong.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to come back with a special guest. Everybody stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Let's face it, fishing electronics are no longer an afterthought. They've become a necessity. And at the Bass Tank, our experts match you with the right electronics, provide professional installation, and educate you to help maximize your catching results while providing support along the way. Because let's be honest, it's about catching, not just fishing. And when you're ready for better results, join the Bass Tank team. Visit us today on Facebook or go to thebasstank.com.
Blue Water by TH Marine. Offering LED lighting solutions for your boat, trailer, truck, ATV, and so much more. Engineered and built to be rugged with waterproof and submersible options. Designed for easy installation, Blue Water is available in a variety of colors and styles. All backed by a limited lifetime warranty. Blue Water by TH Marine.
The name SPRO says it all. SPRO stands for Sports Professionals. When you look at the pro staff that SPRO has brought on board over the past 15 years, it's been pretty incredible. I mean, one got it just then. From the development of the rock crawler to the McStick, from the Fat Papa to the Little John series, when you tie a SPRO bait on, you know it's been designed by a professional to get the job done. While I travel the country on the Bassmaster Elite Series, I simply can't let the weather be the reason I don't win $100,000. That's why I use AFCO clothing to keep me warm, dry, and protected from whatever Mother Nature wants to throw at me. My season depends on it. My career depends on it. AFCO, any fish, any water.
All of us on the Pro Tournament Trail use Gamakatsu hooks. Why? Because they are absolutely the best.
It's not about how many bites you get.
It's how many you put in the boat.
Gamakatsu makes hooks for every fishing style.
We didn't come this far to lose fish.
Did you?
For more information, visit gamakatsu.com.
The Big Bite Baits Kamikaze Swim On is a very unique bait, and it's got a full body but with ribs to give it a bigger profile but not more plastic. It's got a jointed tail that gives it a lot of action, as well as this up and down crawl type trail with holes and ribs in it, so it creates a bubble trail almost. This bait is supposed to be fished upside down or vertical like this on a grate for a chatterbait. I prefer it on a swim jig as well, but you can also cut it down and put it on the back of a finesse jig. You know, flip it around for some spotted bass or flipping docks. Anytime you want a small, compact, a little trailer for it, this is great for it. So check out the full lineup of swim-ons at bigbitebaits.com.
All right, we are back, wrapping up the show with a special guest. And Matthew, I'm hoping he's on the line. Let's see here. Jeff, you there, man?
On the line.
You there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're
you
live
got me?
right now. I got you, man.
Yeah. I need a new phone.
I know. All right, Jeff Kriet, folks. Matthew? What? Oh. All right, there you go.
Jeff, well, you guys don't realize this. Okay, if you're listening, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 computer screens, 1, 2, 3 cameras, the lighting, the intro, the music, the commercials, everything. Jeffries runs it all, folks. It's just me and him. So about once every 4 years, we'll have a small minor glitch.
Yeah, I was
so
trying.
I gotta give it up to you, Jeffries.
Man. I was trying to build fluff.
I gotta give it up to you. The multitasking that you do, and then to carry on a conversation still, I think is very undervalued and underrated. And it's very impressive what you do with that myriad of computer screens over there to keep everything running smoothly with a high quality product.
I'm trying. All right, I apologize
and succeeding.
for the snafu.
99.99%.
Yeah,
of
I
the time.
screwed that one up, so I'll have to fix it on the replay. Anyway, Jeff, how you doing, man?
Do what?
I said, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I mean, you had so much stuff going on. I didn't know what was going on between you two.
Yeah. So
just now.
So you are on the show because of what reason?
Because I'm supposed to be fishing a tournament right now, and we're all shut down, man.
I know.
It sucks. It's crazy. The world has changed, and the fishing world has changed, whether we think it is or not. We would all be naive to think that it hasn't for several years, I would imagine.
All right. Now, what's going to go down on Thursday of this week?
Well, Panger called me up, being Panger, talking some trash, and he wants, I mean, I heard he's really, really turned into quite a young fisherman now. I mean, he's been doing good in these tournaments he's fishing and all that, and I heard he's been calling all of us out, and he's gotten frisky and wants to beat all of us in our home lakes.
It was a moment of high hopes. What I called and Jeffries kind of egged it on. I said, man, I said, I'm thinking like, what if I just stack the odds against it, dude, and try to get like Kriet on Murray? He's like, do it. It was like one of those things like a couple months ago. He's like, well, you should call him. So I called this guy, and Jeffries is like, you actually called him? And he's like, I didn't know you had a spine. So I called it out, and then I expected you'd be like, nah, man, I've got this. And you're like, no, yeah, let's do it. So
it'd be fun.
Yeah, so we're going to go.
It's a no-win. It's a no-win situation for me, Panger. You know that.
I agree, because if you beat me, you beat Matt for BTL on your home pod. You're supposed to.
It's not even that dude. You everybody knows you can catch them. I mean, I'm not. We all give you a lot of grief, but it's not your first rodeo out there. You're a tournament fisherman. You're a good fisherman. You've had some good tournaments. And then we're going to a lake that I was born on, and here's the thing though. Truthfully, it's gonna be pretty even. Now, I mean, I'm not gonna say that I don't have a little more knowledge than you of the lake, but I mean, I've been out there a few times lately, but I've just been going out there with my wife and daughter. She came home from California, so we've just gone out there. And, they want to just get bites. So, we just been going out and playing with those little smallmouth. So I have not gone out there and tried to catch a real sack in probably since last year. So, and I thought about going out there today to get a leg up on you and just kind of poke around. But I thought, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. It's going to be fair. Right?
Okay.
I mean, I'm looking out for you.
Okay, so I want you say that you have a little bit of a leg up on me. I want you to kind of break down your history on Murray. I mean, this is like your baby since forever.
I've spent several hours on Lake Murray in my life.
Guided there?
I would say I probably know every rock on the lake, and I don't know. I probably caught every bass on that lake at least 3 times. But I really, it's a time of year. It's a time of year that this is the great equalizer time of year for me on Murray. Now, if the water was cold, real cold, you wouldn't have a chance. Or if it was real in the summer, you wouldn't have a chance. It was in the fall, you wouldn't have a chance. But now, dude, you actually have a chance. Because this time of year, you know how it is. There's a good chance one of us is going to catch a great old big fish tomorrow, and that's probably the guy that will win. One of us could catch a 6 to 10 pound fish. It's that time of year,
You've held the lake record on the lake before, 12-pounder.
Yeah. I don't know. I caught like a 6'10" smallmouth out of there, but that was I don't know if that's at that time they weren't doing the lake record thing, but man, I think I hold the biggest 5-fish limit there.
Which is?
I'm not trying to get you like 34 pounds.
You caught 34 pounds on Lake Murray?
Yeah, I did.
How many years did you guide on Lake Murray?
A lot. When I was young and broke, I guided over there a bunch.
I told Jeffries, I think I have. So Christie hadn't been to Uchi in years. He said.
Yeah, but he had fished that lake all of his life.
I feel like I stepped into the hornet's nest in this one.
Yeah, that's like playing cornhole with a guy that when you start off asks you if you're supposed to throw the bag in the hole or what are you supposed to do. Those are the traps you get caught in. You know what I mean? I've played that game before.
Hey Jeff, here's the deal though, man. I'm going to be honest with you. There's a lot. He has a lot of fans right now, and a lot of his fans are pulling for him to absolutely destroy you.
I don't doubt that a bit. Hey, I mean, I don't have fans anymore. They all think Kriet's at the tail end of a mediocre career, is what they think. Hell, I'm broke down. I had to have neck surgery. I got a torn rotator cuff that I'm supposed to get cut on, but I can't because of the corona stuff. I can't even have an elective surgery to get fixed. So you're basically fishing against a one-armed old man. So maybe you're the one that has everything to lose, Panger. You're young and hungry, and I'm old. And, I mean, dude, my best finish on a Major League Fishing tournament this year is like 62nd or 65th. You're fishing against an old has-been.
All that being said, Jeffries put odds out for the one-on-one versus Christie, put me at 18-1 odds. Rojas was on the show that day. He put me at 50-1 odds. What are we set? What are you setting the odds at for this one, Jeffries? Everything that you've heard now.
Yeah, Kriet is even money, 1-1. All right, and I'm putting you at 10-1. 10-1 on Panger. Even money with Kriet.
The deal, the thing is, I mean, and I've said it, I mean, and this is a true deal. I know the lake very well, and this time of year, you can't defend against the biggin, and that's the deal. Lake Murray is a lake that most likely you're going to go out there and you're going to have, on a 5-fish limit. How generally I would get beat this year would be I'd have 5 fish or whatever, and the other guy has his 5 fish, but he's got a 7 or 8 or 9 pounder. So I'm telling you, tomorrow it will be all about one really big bite.
All right,
that'll be the deal.
All right, man. The weather is supposed to be somewhat.
Weather's supposed to be good. It's supposed to be calmer in the morning, but also windier towards the afternoon, sunny, and mid-70s. So we're going to fish from 8 to 3.
8 to 3.
And
I'm looking forward to it, man. I mean, we've been having some derbies on. We've been having some derbies. Everybody in their own boat at Arbuckle, man. I'm telling you, we've thrown up some weight over there. Goodness.
All right.
But that lake is a parking lot, man. Murray's not near as crowded as Arbuckle.
All right. Well, Jeff is going to run his. Are you a Verb or a GoPro guy?
I got a GoPro.
Jeff is going to run his GoPro just like Jason Christie ran his Verb for the duration of it. I will run mine for the duration of it, and then shortly after we will have the 30, 45-minute tournament edited out there. And like I said, I realize that here I'm like that trainer from the Tiger King. Eventually, if you stick your arm in the cage enough, it's going to get ripped off. But I pet a tiger.
Could, but, you could come out like the Tiger King too. You could end up being a sensation.
He already is.
There's only one way to find out. I mean, you got to put yourself out there. And you either got to take your ass kicking or you just keep rolling with the momentum, and those are the only two options.
Exactly. Sometimes you got to get in and pet the tiger, don't you?
Yep. Like I said, I pet the tiger. It took the treat out of my hand, and then I was like, "Oh, let's jump in another cage with a tiger."
There you have it.
How did you come out? How did you come out with Christie?
He won.
You gotta watch the video.
He smashed him, man.
I tried to pull it up. I don't even know where to find it.
It's on the Bass Talk Live YouTube channel.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know that YouTube game.
Yeah,
You're gonna have to. I need to hire you for a day and have you teach me how to run GoPros and edit video.
Well, see, there you have it, Matt. You can go down, you can kick his ass, and then you can work for him and have you give you more money.
Well, here's the thing. We're going to put 100 on it. I already owe him 100 from 2013 that I've had an outstanding note with Jeff Kriet for six years now.
For so long.
6 years I've had a note with Jeff Kriet for 100.
Yeah, the Hughes has gotten that bet already up to like 900.
All right. So, well, I'll just pay him the 100 at the start for that, and then we'll put 100 on it, Jeff.
So the best case scenario is you're going to win back your 100.
Exactly. Best case scenario. But hey, thank you for doing this again, and I'm looking forward to it. I was surprised that you. I wasn't surprised that you accepted out of anyone. I figured you would be the one who was up to it the most. Edwin asked a lot of questions before he hesitantly accepted. He wanted to know, what the format was, where we were going, what we were doing, how many numbers it had. Yeah. He had a lot of questions. I called Jeff and I said, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Just sitting around screwing off on at home." I said, "You have fish Thursday?" Sure. Okay.
Yeah. Edwin is, but that's the difference between Edwin is. You're getting into a cage with like 8 tigers when you get in it. I wouldn't even want to. I might not even take the challenge against Edwin.
No,
against him all the time.
Here's the difference. You know the anatomy of a meltdown, and you know that I'm susceptible to the meltdown. Now Edwin is going to stay. He's going to play in his sandbox all day. But I feel like if you maybe feel like the momentum is swinging in your way, you're going to find me and try to put the nail in the coffin mentally.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Hey. Well, we'll see. I'm telling you, I think the fishing will be pretty decent. I'm not going to say it'll be crazy good, but we'll have a good day. Now, what are we going to? You going to come up with the ground rules tomorrow and length limit? We're doing 5 fish limit or major league fishing style. What are we doing?
We're doing 5 fish limit. Five biggest ones. No Alabama rigs.
Right.
No nets.
No.
The only rule is you have to wear red underwear.
Oh, no, come on.
I'm just kidding. I was just kidding on that. No, it is straight up. No BS aside, just your 5 biggest fish over the 8 hours, and then we'll meet. We'll pull up next to each other, power pull down, and then weigh them and see who comes out on top.
Hey, Jeff, real quick. Hey, man, real quick. A lot of the fans on the instant feedback, I mean, it's coming through here. Yeah. They really, really appreciate you doing this. They loved the Jason Christie thing, and a big thanks for you stepping up doing this tomorrow. And please.
I love it.
Please, man.
I love the competition.
They are requesting be very, very vocal in your analysis of what's going down during the day, and I know that won't be an issue.
That's not a problem with me. I'm like the old bag lady that never shuts up.
Yeah. Jason Christie would catch a 3-pounder and just kind of go.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just would kind of be like, there's one.
There you go.
Well, no. I've never had a problem with. I've always had diarrhea of the mouth, so it'll be fine.
All right, man. All right. Good luck tomorrow,
See you
man.
in the
Can't wait
morning.
to see you.
Yeah, man.
All right. See ya.
See ya.
Right. We'll see you.
All right. There you have it. Jeff Kriet, and should be a good one. I know the fans are looking forward to the results on this one, Matthew.
Yeah, I have actually fished a tournament on Murray in the winter with him. He won the tournament in the first 5 minutes. Literally, it was like a 30-boat tournament, and we went out to a spot, and in 5 minutes, he caught it was 3 fish. He caught 3 3-pounders. Second place was like 6 pounds, and we had 9 in the first 5 minutes.
All right, now I have something else to throw out, dude. You're just going to get picked apart today. Monday is the day. Monday is the day. I looked at the weather. It is going to be the perfect day in the state of Oklahoma. What is my record against you in our little
0-7?
I am 0-7, folks. All right, and it's going to go down on Monday. We're not going to have a show on Monday. It's me versus Matt, who is undefeated. I fish probably maybe 12 times a year. He fishes maybe 12 out of 16 days a year or a month. All right? A week or whatever. He fishes a lot. That was the worst analogy I think I've ever done. Anyway, he fishes a lot. I don't fish that much. That probably has a lot to do with the fact that I am 0-7. All right? But I'm feeling a little different this year because I know it's not going to be a true sight fishing deal. We're going to go to Lake Tenkiller on Monday.
Oh, we're going to 10 Killer.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so it's only 45 minutes from the house.
Yeah. We're going to go to 10 Killer.
Oh, this was a twist. We usually go sight fishing on Arbuckle.
Well, we're not going to do that because it's like take a number and go into the cove and catch the fish that's been caught 30,000 times.
So you must have got a report from Mr. Barton that they're biting on 10 Killer?
No, I did not.
No. Okay.
No.
Well, I'll get no information. No information.
No, I haven't talked to anybody.
Okay.
All right.
So Monday is the day then.
Monday is the day. Can I finally defeat the superstar? You know what the odds are? I'm going to put odds on this. For me, 75-1.
No, it would be. So I fished 10 Killer quite a bit earlier this year.
Haven't
and I'm
been
fishing
on it
more.
in a year.
I feel like for you, I'd put your odds at 3-1.
What?
You fished 10 Killer for how long?
A long time.
You like it in the spring?
Yeah.
You've caught him in the past years in the spring when it's this level. You desperately want the W because you're going to have a GoPro in your boat this time and it's also going to be out.
I don't have a
one-on-one
GoPro.
heads up.
Are you going to give me a GoPro?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get y'all dialed in.
All right.
We have to. We can't not film it
Oh,
now.
I know.
I put you at 3-1.
Not even, no.
3-1.
No. 75 to, dude, I
3-1.
never even came close.
But it's the same thing. You know what you're doing. You know you've got the...
Yeah. Now, I need to let everybody know this, too. I mean, obviously, we're going to be in separate boats. Matt is going to be in the Bass Cat. I actually have a boat that I bought as my retirement boat.
From
Folks,
your tournament partner.
From the guy that I fished team tournaments with for 20-plus years. He moved to Arizona. This boat it is immaculate. It's unbelievable. It's a Pro Craft, and I got it at a great deal. It's a 21-foot Pro Craft with a 225. The engine, all right, this is a 1997 boat. No, a 2007 boat.
Right.
2007. The motor has 18 hours on it.
And it's the original motor.
The original motor.
And you upgraded to an Ultrex?
Got an Ultrex.
You got the Lowrance HDS Lives, the 12 in the dash, and then 9 up front.
And
or
then
you got a 12 up front too.
No,
9 up front, and then you also put poles on it.
And then it's got power play. This is immaculate. It is my retirement boat that I can just fish and be happy and not have to worry about anything. And I got it for a great price. All right. So that's how we have two boats. It's not, it's a Pro Craft. They don't even make them anymore. Anyway, so that's what I'm going to be fishing out of. And Matt's going to be in the Bass Cat. So we'll see. I'm still saying 75-1 on Monday. And we will go from there. 3-1. Are you kidding me? You're the freaking superstar.
3-1.
I'm the
Mark.
fat old
You're
man.
3-1. You just like to overstate that. I just like to fish.
Yeah. All right. I want to let everybody know I am working. Tomorrow we're going to have Denny Brower on while Matt is going to battling. Yeah, exactly.
Against Jeff Kriet.
With Jeff Kriet. There is, I'd say, probably about a 60% chance right now that Kenyon Hill is going to be in studio with me when we have Denny Brower on tomorrow. So should be a great, great, great show. Kenyon is supposed to get back with me today, but he said he wanted to do it, and then we'll go from there. I also want to mention, too, next week we're going to have Greg Hackney. We are also, I've got something lined up that's kind of cool. Let me see if I can find my notes here. What did I do with it? There is a cool thing going on. There's a website out there. It's called Fish for Each Other. I don't know if you've seen this. It was actually created by Ryan Chuckle, who is the president and creator of Gunpowder PR. Yep. We're going to have him on next week, too, to talk about the Fish for Each Other. And really, since he's involved with so many companies in the industry, kind of get a business perspective on what the outlook is from a number of the companies that he is involved with from a PR and marketing standpoint. So looking forward to that. And then I am continuing to work on the remainder of the schedule. I didn't get to it, dude, but look what I got in my hands right here.
The 2010 Bassmaster Media Guide.
All right. 10 years old. Next week, we're going to go through this. There is some just vintage stuff in here, dude. Because one of the things that they did in this with the listing of all the pros, they had a did you know fact in there.
I remember when they did that.
And we're going to read some of these did you know things from 10 years ago, and it is vintage stuff there. So another jam-packed week next week we'll have lined up. But Matthew, you're going to be fishing a lot, man.
I got to go rig some tackle. All
right. You feeling good?
Still
you feeling
tell
confident?
I'm from Illinois occasionally, and one of the words that's a dead giveaway is every time I say tackle.
You feeling good?
I can say, hey, y'all, I'm going to go rig some tackle. Just can't get that hard A.
Jeez.
No, I don't feel confident because that guy knows where every 6 to 10 pounder pulls up every single year for the past 20 years.
Yeah.
So he's going to be able to cherry pick all of the best areas and roll through them. My track record on Murray, while not awful, just haven't fished it a ton. My biggest fish out of there is probably about a 7 pounder. When I go there to chase the little smallmouth, which won't get it done. It is the only place that I've caught a 5-fish limit in the first 5 casts of the morning.
Yeah.
That was with Drew Smith. We stayed on a houseboat. We overslept for an hour. We woke up. It was broad daylight. We said, oh, crap, the tournament already started. It was one of those drive to your spots and start fishing at a time. Yeah. We woke up at like 7:30, and the tournament started at 6:30. We rolled to our spot. We made 5 casts. We had a limit that weighed about 7 pounds.
Oh, jeez.
I fished a charger out there.
Yeah.
My partner lost the winning fish. We didn't even cash a check. I told him to sit down until he could set the hook like a man. Then I proceeded to break off the next 3 fish. Then he told me to sit down until I could land a fish like a man.
Oh, jeez.
I've had some interesting stuff happen at Murray.
That's cool. All right,
Here's
can't
the
wait
question.
to see it. What's that?
Do I start in the north end in the cattails? Do I go to the Clearwater and try to look for a bedding fish? Do I bring the big glide baits? I got a lot of stuff going on here. Uchi was pretty easy. I knew not easy to win, but easy to dial in what needed to be done. You've got grass, Clearwater, muddy water. You've got a bunch of stuff going on at Murray following 2 days of a cold front.
Yeah, have fun, dude.
Kriet's seen all that.
Have fun.
I don't even know if there's visibility in the lake.
Have fun.
It'll be fun. We'll have it out. If we shoot it here, we'll have it out next week.
All right, very cool. Everybody be safe. That's it. We're out of here.